Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CKMS Wide World of Motorsports. We're coming at you live from 102.7 CKMS Radio Waterloo, the sound of the community for the past 40 years. And we got a very special guest calling in right now. We have Joe Minerich calling in from Colorado. I sounded like a robot there. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How about you, man?
We're it's finally we got you on the air. We got you in. What's up?
Oh, just chilling on my days off from work. So I figured I'd, give you a buzz and see how things are going.
Well, everything's definitely going right now. We're sitting here, we're chilling, we're maxing, relaxing. We saw an awesome race this past weekend in Daytona, and we ended up seeing quite the race, I'd have to say. We saw Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who raced to his second victory of the season and second on a restrictor plate track Saturday night at Daytona International Speedway. Stenhouse picked up his first NASCAR Career Cup Series win in May at Talladega, and just like last time, girlfriend Danica Patrick was there to greet him in victory lane. She had wrecked out shortly before she was the first person to be at the car window for him, and that's definitely something cool. Just imagine you pulling up your girlfriend. That's the first person you see who just wrecked. What do you think? What do you think was the conversation between them, Slayer?
It's quite the unique circumstance. You know what I mean? Like the fact that it seems just kind of like a tabloid type thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Dating each other, all that stuff. But I mean, I'd have to genuinely say that she probably just generally, greeted him and said congratulations on the win and all that stuff. And
there's no talk about anything that was going to be happening the following night.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think it was just business.
Just pure business between them
pure
two.
Pure business, I think so. Yeah. Remember, you got the TVs around him and all that stuff. Pure business.
He earned this one for Roush Fenway Racing in a 2-lap overtime sprint when leader David Reagan tried to block the field and lost momentum. Stenhouse squirted by and held on for the victory. He did that in a new car, too, because he wasn't giving back the Ford he drove at Talladega to his first Career Cup victory. Clint Bowyer was second for the second consecutive week. I guess, would that be considered 2 weeks in a row? Wow. Bowyer, he's coming out over. He's gave Ford Performance a 1-2 finish for the manufacturer and engine builder Doug Yates. So Bowyer, he's shown some strength this season, Slayer Misfit. What do you think?
He's definitely, he's driving for a top-tier team. I mean, he should be producing results like that, if you want me to be honest. He's a good driver, there's no doubt about it. Last year was kind of one of those years where, he kind of had to sit, kind of drive,
I forget the name of the team he was driving for, but he hated it.
Scott Motorsports,
yeah.
That's what it was. And he was just kind of like in the, the waiting period, I guess. It's like, okay, I just got to get through this year, then I'll drive Tony Stewart's car, right? So, he's a good driver, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he's Spring Cup winner /
We've seen him perform well at the restrictor plate tracks.
Yeah, he's a great driver. I mean, at restrictor plate tracks. I mean, but then again, you go back to the restrictor plate races. It's anybody's game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, it's.
Well, exactly. With Paul Menard, he was third, followed by Michael McDowell, Ryan Newman. Even Nonek found his way up in the top 5 somehow, and Reagan was up there too. Brendan Gaughan, AJ Allmendinger, Eric Jones, and Chris Buescher rounded out, which was weird, top 10.
A very kind of random top 10 there for sure.
Anything can happen at any time.
Anything can happen at any time in Daytona and Talladega.
Well, many of the top contenders were knocked out in accidents, including Danica Patrick, and she was seen kicking her car in frustration when she wrecked. And she was also out of the race and in street clothes when she was already at the point in victory lane. We also saw this was the race that hit its full intensity with the final 10 laps, with series leader Kyle Larson slicing his way back into contention.
See, that's where I got disappointed. Kyle Larson is my favorite driver, and he was having a great run, and he just kind of got up in that, kind of just Daytona stuff. So
Well, he was chasing Ty Dillon for the lead with 7 laps remaining when he moved up a lane to block Stenhouse. And there wasn't enough room for Larson's car in the front of Stenhouse. And there was end up contacting. He ended up going toward the wall and off the track. And it triggered.
See the air he got though too.
Oh yeah, he got off, and obviously they described how the new the safety flaps in the hood and on the roof worked, and I finally understood how it worked because they showed it perfectly. And it's amazing how safe these cars are for these drivers nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. If you look back to what was it, 2 years ago when Austin Dillon got in that accident?
Yeah.
Was it 2 years ago or was it last year?
I think it was last year.
It was last year. Then, well, no, because Junior was out. Remember, and Junior won that race that Austin Dillon got in that accident.
Right.
So it would have been 2 years ago. You just look at that and like the fact that he survived that without like a scratch on him.
Yeah.
It
shows you. And he took a hit after he went in the catch fence. He even took a couple extra hits.
When Keselowski got into him, he took a good hit from him too. But it just goes to show you how much safety has gone into racing and NASCAR in general.
Well, that wreck collected a lot of people. It collected Kurt Busch, who won the Daytona 500 in February. Junior, at this point, he was already out of the race, and they showed him handing out a hat. He took off a hat, and he signed a hat, and he gave it to a service member of the U.S. Army. That was amazing.
That's, Junior, he's a really incredible person. I'm sure there's quite a few people that don't think that he is. That's probably old Junior.
I'd be amazed if anyone who isn't a fan of Junior Nation.
That's true, but I mean, I've had people when I've gone, because I go to Vegas every year, right? So I've had people tell me stories that he's an asshole and blah blah blah, but he's changed. He's came into a new person the last couple of years, and
right.
Really generous. But he did the same thing in Vegas when I was out there. He, I'm not making this up. He had his hat, and then the next moment he's taking it off, signing it, and giving it to a fan out in the garage area there. So I mean, he's
especially for July 4th weekend.
Yeah, just a great guy.
Amazing.
I mean, he was. If there was a driver that America wanted to win the other night,
that was him.
It was Dale Jr.
Yeah,
it was Dale Jr. I mean, like that would have been just a huge story, but just wasn't meant to be.
Well, Dillon was out front. We saw him out front eventually as the leader, and it would have been cool to see the three. Or was that Ty Dillon? I believe Ty Dillon was up there.
Ty Dillon,
It would have been cool to see him do something up there. But that caused kind of a red flag. The NASCAR red flagged the race to clean the damage and went back to yellow after the stoppage of nearly 9 minutes. As I said, Dillon was out front as the leader, followed by Reagan, Allmendinger, and Stenhouse, who, despite driving under Larson's airborne car, seemed to come out unscathed and ended up restarting 4th. Reagan got a good push from Allmendinger on the restart, but a spin by Denny Hamlin and Eric Jones brought up the caution to send the race into NASCAR overtime. That's when Stenhouse got his chance.
Oh, and he got his chance,
right.
He got his second career win there. I mean, that's I'll be honest, I didn't think lightning would strike twice in the same spot, but apparently it has. So,
It was definitely a wild night, and even Earnhardt even said that himself for everybody, and Earnhardt Jr. ended up finishing 32nd. Tough for him in the points.
Yeah, he needed that race. That was, let's be honest.
Yeah.
His team's not running good this year. I mean, Hendrick Motorsports is, with the exception of Jimmy Johnson, they're kind of struggling. You know what I mean? I mean, they're just they're just kind of not in their dominant form.
Hasn't that always been the case?
Yeah, it's always Jimmy Johnson. That's always he's got good equipment. He's got a good team.
He's 7-time champion. I mean, he's 7-time.
Yeah, it's true.
Another person that night who I thought had a short night was Joey Logano. He was knocked out in a multi-car accident after 72 laps, and
I believe finished 35th. Is that right?
Yeah,
that finished 35th, somewhere around there.
It was definitely tough for him as well. Penske not having a good time.
Penske did not have a good day at all. I mean, even if you consider Ryan Blaney to be a Penske driver, which
right, they're satellite teams, so yeah.
Yeah, he's 26th, I think he finished. I'm not too sure. I think it's around there.
Right.
They struggled, and I mean, they've been a really dominant team this year. I mean, with Blaney getting his win and Logano getting his, but that was a little over encumbered, as it's probably, I'm sure, well documented. But
right. Well, going into Saturday night race at Kentucky, where Brad Keselowski won last year, he has won 3 of the last 5 races at Kentucky. Looking in at Kentucky, what do you got to say is going to go on?
I gotta say that you want me to pick the driver that I think is going to win this weekend? Is that what you're saying?
Well, what have we seen in the past so far? Some of the past winners and performances.
I mean, you look down the list at what Keselowski won last year. I think Kyle Busch won the year before that.
Right.
And Keselowski, and then I think Matt Kenseth won in 2013, if I'm not mistaken.
And a lot of the winners are Toyotas.
A lot of the winners.
Some Toyotas.
A lot of the winners are Toyotas. That's very true. But if you want me to pick a guy that's probably going to go to victory lane Saturday, it's probably going to be Kyle Busch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he's been itching for a win all season.
Would be my pick. I mean, that'd be the place to do it. He's won there twice.
He hasn't won since fall, if I'm not mistaken.
The fall, yep. Last year, yep. He's kind of on a winless streak.
Right. Oh, definitely. I call that a winless streak. Kyle is definitely on a winless streak right now.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see. He's definitely going to be up there, no doubt about it.
What about Junior? What do you got to say about him?
You know,
he's been off and on at Kentucky.
Junior is kind of a little inconsistent. I mean, but consistently inconsistent. Does that make sense?
Right. His average finish and start is 14th.
Yes, it is. His average start. Yep, his average start's 14th.
We see that at a lot of tracks with him too, don't we?
Yeah, he's there. I mean, I think he'll get it. I think if he can stay out of trouble, I think he's got an easy top 10. In my opinion, he's got an easy top 10. I don't think he's the car to beat, but he's going to be in the top 10 contention for sure. I mean,
to go into who we're going to pick for this weekend, we'll speak of the performance of last weekend's in the NASCAR Yahoo Fantasy Wide World of Motorsports racing pool, which anyone in the community can join. Everyone is welcome. We have seen a terrible performance by myself on TOSP on CKMS Racing. We lost a position to Irish Redneck and JDM Racing, who is sitting at 4,094 season points, and right now in the segment point he's at 835. I'm at 735. I mean, ouch. You're doing pretty good in this segment, but Pepe and Monzi, my dad and my brother, they're not too far off from you, actually. Pepe's sitting at 836 segment points. Monzi's at 845. But for season points, though, Pepe is way off. He's got 3,769, and Monzi's got 4,039. So you and him are you guys are up there for our group of folk. But we got these random other hillbilly guys who have no idea who these guys are. I'd like to see if these guys would identify themselves someday. You got these guys who are kicking ass every week on the first and second. I don't know how they do it. They must somehow. I don't know how they're picking all the perfect picks every week. Monzi, your mic's on, by the way. You've been able to speak at any point. Just because you can't hear Joe Minor itch.
So I'm going to talk at the same time he is.
No. You're the fantasy pool guy, and I'm doing this. I'm doing this right now. Squirrely. Well, this guy, he's leading at 4,353 season points, and the segment points a whopping 957. He's leading hugely, or bigly, as your president would say. Little hands. And AK 2017, he's at 908 points in second place for the segment. I like to look by segment. It's always good to keep by segment. Usually season points most people go by, but we're going to see some changes this weekend, though, hopefully going into this race. Who are you going to pick for Kentucky Speedway this weekend, Slayer?
Like I said before, I'm gonna have to pick Kyle Busch for the winner.
Who are you putting on your B bet? Who are you putting on your B and your C?
It's the 1.5 mile I'm gonna have to say, Kyle Larson, and probably I'm gonna throw in Clint Boyer. I mean,
Boyer.
he's been on a good.
Don't want to use him up though.
What's that?
You don't want to use him up. Yeah.
But definitely it's a good group to go with. C, probably. I'm probably gonna. I'm almost out of him.
Is it Rudiman in C?
No, yes, but I'm gonna have to pick. Suarez, I believe.
Suarez, eh? I think I'd pick Ty Dillon if he's available for the C group. For my B, we've seen McMurray have some good performances at this track, Kentucky specifically. So maybe I'll throw him in there. I don't know, but yeah, it's a tough call for the winner. Do you go with the Ford or do you go with the Toyota? And that's something I'm gonna have to debate on in the next couple of days. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if that's the thing, you look at it, C3, Keselowski won 3 races, right? And then the other 3 are won by Toyotas.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a complete toss-up.
Right, exactly. So I'll have to see, we'll have to look at some practice times.
I'm gonna contradict myself, but if you look at, like, the Fords are performing really good this year. Toyotas are kind of, they're there, but they're just not winning. You know what I mean?
Right.
At least the Gibbs Toyotas. But I think that's going to change this weekend. I think that's how it's going to. I think Kyle Busch is going to get a win.
I think so too. I don't want to see Kyle win because I hate seeing Kyle win, and you know I'm not a big fan of him. But nonetheless, though, we're definitely going to be updating everybody here on CKMS Wide World of Motorsports every week, of course, right here on 102.7 CKMS FM Radio Waterloo. Want to give a big thank you to Joe Minor Itch, Slayer Misfit, my buddy who I've been Xboxing with for years now, and finally been able to have you call in, talk NASCAR, to be able to get down to the nitty gritty here on Wide World of Motorsports. It is a thrill to have you call in, sir.
You should have him come in every week.
I appreciate it, man. It was a good time. Hope to do it again in the future.
DJ Monzi said you should have him come by again.
Every week for this segment.
He works. This man is a busy man sometimes. This man works. He
never
packs
busy
dynamite.
enough for the underground sound project.
That's why I'm so down low in the standings, is because I forget to get my picks out because I'm working so much.
Well, we got to remind you to make those picks more often.
You remind me. I will get them updated. So, but I'm down to come on anytime. It's been great. It's been fun.
Well, guess what? Next song we're playing next.
You have to assume it's a Green Day song, right?
Oh, well, we will get you a Green Day. Actually, you know what? We'll give you a request right now. What Green Day song do you want? We'll play any Green Day song right now.
Oh, I think my
got you on the spot.
When I Come Around.
What a classic! All right, well, we're gonna play that right now for you on the Underground Sound Project. Thank you very much. Well, you want to give it away to the Green Day here?
This is probably the best, well, in your case, maybe the second best rock band in the world, U2 being the first, in my opinion, the first Green Day, but this is Green Day, When I Come Around, from their album Dookie.
All right. Don't touch that dial, folks. We'll be right back.